sent out a press release. Palin should stay in Juneau and work with legislature. Palin to be gone several days as 90-day session nears in. You specifically are quoted within the press release where it says the Mat-Su didn't get anything in the capital budget. This isn't actually from you. This is from another individual, a former member of the Mat-Su Borough Assembly. We have 3 of the worst roads in the state for death and accidents, according to the Department of Transportation. Sarah Palin needs to be in Juneau fighting for a fair budget that addresses these problems. Here's something from you. The issue we are dealing with are hard and require hard work and focused attention, said Mike Molesky, a member of the Palmer City Council. It's important for people to meet face-to-face to work things out, and Palin has to be present for that to happen. What say you?
I think that's a pretty accurate quote, Eddie. I've spent part of my life negotiating in various places, and what I've discovered, whether it's in my own family with my kids or in labor negotiations or other places, it's really useful to have people be in the same room at the same time. And the reason why I was willing to drive into Anchorage and participate today was because I felt, hearing that as we entered this last week, the governor was going to be out of state, and I've been down to Juneau. I've followed it from time to time, and I know how heated it gets. I just thought that someone, myself, could be that someone who would say, this sounds like it's not going to be the focused attention and focused effort involving all parties that we need.
Whose job is it in the legislative process to carry the legislation and to ensure that the legislation gets out of the different committees and all? Is that the governor's job, or the members of that district, or the one who the bill sponsor?
Yeah, I think the process involving the budget involves everyone, the governor and the legislators, and I know they have their role to play, just as the governor has in putting together her proposal for a budget. Maybe, Eddie, let me just share a quick thing. I don't think it'll take long. Recently, out here in the valley, we have one of the largest flocks of sheep, as it turns out, in Alaska, and I am privileged each year to spend some time helping shear that flock of 50 sheep. And I was thinking about this as I was driving in today. We gather, there are probably a dozen people gathered together and make that happen. And the reason why I want to use that metaphor is because no matter what the skills of the variety of people, as you pen the sheep, you flip them over, you're doing all this stuff, you're going to clean and clip their hooves, all the rest of this stuff. There's one person that ends up being really critical in the process, and that's the person who's wielding the shears, is going to actually do the shearing. And if I can, I'd like to say that in some ways this whole budget process is like that, and each one of those sheep is another part of the budget. But given our system, the governor is the one who gets to actually do the work at the end of this, and without any damage to body parts on the sheep. In so doing, it's working together to make that happen. And
that's been an enlightening process. Thank you for sharing all that with me. But who's the members of the legislature that should be fighting for road projects in the valley?
Oh, I certainly believe they're the representatives
right
in the legislature.
Is it the governor's job to advocate for roads in the valley, or is it the governor's job to have oversight as the budget comes to her desk once the legislation is presented to her?
I think she has the opportunity to indicate early on in this system her direction of support for such things as roads, and then she comes in at the end, and after the legislature has had their will with it, to finally approve or veto, etc.
So really, then the budget, using your comments, really the governor doesn't have much play on this until the legislation is put on her desk, because she's already indicated her support, and the Senate Finance Committee has rejected some of these roads. Is that correct?
Well, I understand what you're saying and what they've done. I also understand that in years past, the governor and the legislature have had communication over that time, and that's one of the difficult